Anyway, we'll get going. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
We'll get going. So here we are with a special episode with my buddy. You know, somebody I will say is probably doing, you know, one of the most influential people in the recovery space when it comes to this neck of the woods for sure. Because we get to run with a lot of people, man. But like since you've came on board with your Haven and been doing what you're doing, I mean, there's been a lot of things that's took place. And I know that's not, you know, all you're doing, but it's but just to seeing somebody who is as passionate as you are, Mr. Chris Lance Martin.
Yes.
I gave your full name.
Yeah.
Christopher Lance.
Yeah. Actually, there's another name in there you don't know about. So
Dude, you got 4 names?
I do.
I do too. Thomas Jonathan Blake Spradlin.
I'm Christopher Lance Brock Martin.
Really? God,
Yeah.
I knew there was something. There's something special about people that have 4 names. I
Well,
think.
and my son's got more than that. He's Christopher Lance Brock Martin Jr.
I sound like royalty. That's what I always tell people. But yeah, man. Did you ever think that, you know, say 10 years ago, did you ever think you would be someone who'd be leading in the space that you're currently leading in?
No.
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 That's a quick answer.
Not a chance.
Yeah.
Not
So just real quickly, you know, live today. I mean, you are the director of Your Haven, correct, in
Yes.
Buchanan, Georgia. And what exactly is Your Haven?
We're a recovery community organization.
Mhm.
We support people in active addiction or in long-term recovery. In a nutshell, we help people get their lives back and learn how to live their lives again.
Yeah.
We do that through peer support group meetings. We try to remove barriers between people in long-term recovery, be it employment resources, you know, clothing for work, food resources, just whatever they need
Yeah.
to get a step up.
Yeah. So you treat basically every case is probably a little different.
Yes.
Just whatever their current need is, you try to find some way to meet that.
Yes.
That's cool. That's good, man. So, you know, that's who you are now. And we have the opportunity to work together a lot with what you do and what Titan does. But just real quickly, you know, how would you describe who you used to be? You know, you don't necessarily have to get in the deep dark or whatever, but, you know, how did you used to see yourself?
I was an unsavory character, to say the least.
Unsavory.
Yes. You know, pretty much how I put it is when I got ready to eat, I ate, and I didn't care whose plate it came off of.
Wow.
So, you know, I'm not saying that I was just a horrible, vile person, you know, but I took care of me, and that's what I took care of.
Yeah. Yeah, it's something I noticed too. I didn't see that in my life until, you know, God saved my life and I was able to get sober. I look back and I realized the same thing, that, you know, it was, if I was going to get my fix of whatever it was, whether it was, and I always thought I was a good dad and a good person in a relationship and a friend, but you look back later and it's like, dang, I really wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So yeah, that's a good way to put it, man. You said that you're just hungry. You don't matter whose plate it was coming off of.
I did not. It did not matter to me.
Did you grow up here in Tallapoosa?
I did. Tallapoosa and Muscadine.
Muscadine. Let's go. So it's always been around West Georgia.
Yeah, Talabama.
Let's go.
Yeah.
There'll be a country group eventually called that, I'm sure.
Well, they'll have to pay me because I coined the phrase years ago.
Go ahead and buy the domain.
Yeah.
No, that's good. So did you so when it all, that's who you used to be, and then when it finally all came to a head, how did all that take place? Was it something, did you get arrested? Did you just finally get to wit's end with your addiction, or how did that all
Yes.
come to, yeah. All the above.
All of that, yes.
Yeah.
You know, I remember a couple of days before I was arrested the last time, or it might even been the night before, but I was sitting in the back of a car.
Yeah.
Being chauffeured around, and I had so many things in my lap and in the back seat with me. I was being chauffeured for a reason.
Yeah.
And I remember just coming to the realization, I'm miserable, man. I am miserable.
Yeah.
I've been doing drugs like it's an Olympic event for so long, and couldn't even remember the last time I got high.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to start. I knew I wanted out, you know, and probably the first time in a good while I'd spoke to God.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to need your help, buddy. I know I've done this before,
Yeah.
but I don't even know where to start.
Yeah.
I can't even bring a thought to my brain of how to start.
Mm.
And wasn't too much longer. He sent the angels in blue.
Yeah, man, my wife tells the same type story to where she basically prayed that you're gonna have to do something, and before you know it, the police showed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They when they put the cuffs on me and they set me down on my knees, but I was done.
Yeah.
I knew I was done.
Yeah.
I knew what it was. I knew why they were there, and I was done.
Yeah. So at that point, it was probably not even a thought to run anymore. You was just ready to give up.
Yeah.
Go. Yeah. Yeah. So in that point, you go into jail. Then is that right?
I did.
And then how long did you serve then that last time?
Well, that time I was in there. I was in Carroll County about 3 months.
Yeah.
And the Delta variant of the COVID came out. So I was the first person OR'd out of the Carroll County jail with a probation hold in Haralson County. So they OR'd me out. So I got to go home, and it was another year before Haralson County actually wanted me. So, I mean, I got tried in the fire right there, sent right back home, you know, to where I was using, but I stayed strong. I stayed clean
Really?
for that year.
So when you say OR, for those maybe listening that don't understand the terminology.
On recognizance.
On
they just let you sign your name and leave jail.
So here it is, you're sitting in jail, and because of the COVID variant that come out, you've got the opportunity to sign your own bond to go home, but now you're thrown right back into what you've always known.
Yes.
And you're able to stay clean.
I was.
Okay. And then what happened when Haralson County called you?
Well, they decided they wanted me, so they picked me up.
Dang.
Yeah, right. It was time. I could have ran then. I'm notorious for running.
Yeah.
Notorious for getting away. And I'm confident that day I could have ran and got away.
Yeah.
But I sat right where I was at and said, no, it's time to take care of this.
Yeah.
So I ended up doing about 2 years.
Wow. In Haralson County, they swap you back and forth? Or?
Well, they sent me, I did in a little bit in Haralson County, and then they sent me to do PDC and RSAT back to back. PDC is like a work detention boot camp-ish type thing. So I did it all in the same facility. I did 6 months of PDC and then rolled my mat up, changed dorms, and started 9 months of RSAT.
Wow. So did you got some recovery within? Did you get some recovery within the walls of the prison then with RSAT?
I did. That's where I started learning that peer support was a thing.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So that you basically do 2 years there, and then did you make a decision in there that if I get out of this, then I want to be in this when I get out, or was that something that came later, as far as in the recovery space?
It started in the back of my mind. The seed was planted.
Yeah.
I didn't really want to go full in until I found Your Haven and I fell in love.
Yeah.
I was like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is where God has led me to.
Yeah.
Everything from this point is for this.
Wow. You were able to see all that chaos that you've been through now be able to use for good.
Yeah. I saw my very first meeting. I remember looking around. At first I looked because it's in the old doctor's office.
Yeah.
So I'm staring at this chair over next to the window. I'm like, this is crazy, because I used to sit in that chair right there every month waiting on my pills.
Yeah.
And now here I am in a Narcotics Anonymous meeting.
Yeah.
And, and I was just, I fell in love.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah. That's one of the things, man, that puts scripture tangible all of a sudden. Like, you hear people say, like, what the enemy meant for evil, God will use for good. And it becomes normal for us to hear it. But like in that moment, you realize, wow, what better qualified person to help people get out of this than me, who has been that person for so long. All of a sudden you may feel lost, but then all of a sudden you feel like this sense of like, I maybe can really do this.
Yeah. Well, I've been telling people for years that, I don't serve a wasteful God.
Yeah.
Nothing's for nothing. And it all made sense right then.
Yeah.
All this was for this.
Yeah. Wow. So you just became the director the next day, and everything's been
almost,
good since.
Almost, man.
Now I'm just guessing, what year about was this? Because I remember when Your Haven first came about, and then so around how long did you start? Is that moments when you wanted to go get your cares, or how did all that take place?
Yes, I started coming into Your Haven and volunteering every chance I got.
Yeah.
My hand was the first one up.
Yeah.
So after about 6 months of that, somebody suggested I go get my cares.
Yeah.
And I I was all for it.
And what does CARE stand for again?
Certified Addiction Recovery Empowerment Specialist.
Okay.
But I was, I'm a single dad and hadn't been out of prison long. I was doing construction.
Yeah.
And I guess what taking a week off of work would mean, So that was really a leap of faith that I had to take, and I had to pray about it. So I took that leap of faith, and not everybody gets into CARES the first time. But the first time I applied, they let me right in, even though I feel like I blew my interview, my virtual interview. It's almost like I forgot the English language.
Really? Yeah.
But I got in.
Yeah.
And I took that week off of work, and I have not missed $1.
Really? Wow.
Not $1.
So I had to take a leap of faith because, when we get in such a routine sometimes, especially if we're used to that lifestyle, that like stepping outside and taking that week off to chase something like this, that does take a faith in that God's leading you into doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you get the CARES, and so then you start doing what, like just leading different peers through different things, or how does that look after that?
Well, I got the CARES, and I continued to come to Your Haven for meetings and volunteer. But actually, while I was in CARES, while I was taking the course, the director's position came open.
Yeah.
And somebody mentioned, hey, you should apply. And I was like, slow down.
Yeah.
Maybe some peer support. Let me wade into this a little bit. And so, I prayed about it, and I prayed hard about it. And the answer that I got was, excuse me, Scripture says to be bold.
Yeah.
And that's the words I heard.
Yeah.
So I was like, here we go.
Here we go.
Here's my resume.
Yeah, there you go, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So yeah. So what do you see right now as being a win that you see happening in the recovery community?
I'm seeing wins all over the place. People are getting their kids back. People are getting back in their kids' lives.
Yeah.
People are holding down steady employment. They're renting their own places. They're getting vehicles.
Yeah.
They're repairing bridges that back in the day they burnt just for warmth.
Yeah.
It's encouraging.
Yeah.
It's encouraging. You find what you look for, though.
Yeah. Man, that's something there. You're right. It's so much more than people just getting sober. It's learning they can actually work those jobs, mend the relationships, all those things.
Well, the whole families are picking up and thriving now.
Yeah.
It's, once somebody in the family gets sober, we're seeing other people follow suit. Just like in my case, I've had 2 sisters follow me without ever having to say a word to them. They just saw on Facebook, and they got sober. Like, if Big Brother can do it, we can do it.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, amen. I think we've got a lot of those stories as well. And heck, you see Johnny Wayne running around here, my dad,
Yeah.
and then Bailey and Brent, it's just like everybody. I don't know. It's nice to know that you're right. When one person does straighten up, it just only turns that fire on to, well, dang it, I know him. I know Chris. If he can do that, I can definitely do this.
Yes, most definitely, man. I believe I've helped more people without, indirectly than I have, directly.
Yeah.
Because I'm constantly hearing, I see what you're doing. If you can do it, I can do it. It gives us hope.
Yeah.
And when I started coming into the jail, most of those guys in the jail, I've either done dirt or time with them, or both.
Yeah, man, that's good, because your testimony does do a lot, and it does more than what we think. Just it's touching lives that aren't even telling us.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's awesome, man. So, what do you think? What was something you would like to see in the recovery community a little more of? Not necessarily that anything's going bad. I'm saying, like, what's something you think we could do in the recovery community a little better?
I believe that when we recover out loud, it speaks volumes, like we've just been speaking about. So I'm always looking for chances or ways to recover out louder.
Yeah. Yeah. So to make it more known.
Make it more known. Because when I first came on at Your Haven, I kept hearing, well, what's Your Haven? What do you do? So I wanted to attack that.
Yeah. And make sure everybody knew what Your Haven does.
Make sure everybody knows what we do, where we're at.
Yeah. With that's awesome, because it's in isolation. That's where we don't thrive, man. It's like that's where we've used to get to in the old days,
Mm-hmm.
and then we both know what isolation done. So
Connection's the opposite of addiction.
That's what I was trying to lead you into. Let's go.
Yeah.
Connection's the opposite of addiction, man. That's awesome. So what makes you want to stay in this kind of work? Because it's hard, man. I know the day I personally had, and I just do it half of my day because I have another job as well. But you're in this day in, day out, and you're dealing with a lot of people, and you're dealing with a lot of wins, but also a lot of heartache. You see some things. So, what keeps you motivated in this line of work?
Seeing that person spread their wings and fly,
Yeah,
reach out and grab the life, that they were always meant to live.
yeah,
That's recovery to me. It's not getting back to one point that you were. It's reaching out and grabbing the life that you were always meant to live.
yeah,
Seeing people do that, and just in my life, a lot of people have counted me out. A lot of people have given up on me, and there's a lot of that. So I'm the guy that's not going to ever count you out, not ever going to give up on you.
yeah,
This is what I do.
yeah,
I want to see people better. I want to see people live.
yeah.
So,
That's good, man. That's real good. Here's one a question I wanted to ask you that I personally deal with myself, man. That do you ever feel like, because you are in a position, as a director of Your Haven, you are in a position with a title and all this. Do you ever have to battle within yourself with like this imposter syndrome, like that you're not qualified for what you're doing? You know what I'm saying?
from
Like the enemy coming at you.
from day one,
Yeah,
from day one all the way until this morning.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I fight it every day because I'm just a Tallapoosa boy with tattoos and a beard
Yeah.
that's done floors.
Very nice beard, man.
Oh,
by
thank
the
you. I
way.
grew it myself. But I've done floors and sold drugs my whole life.
Yeah.
My whole life. It's just what I've done. I've either, when I wasn't doing floors, I was selling drugs. And when I was selling drugs, I wasn't doing floors.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much what I've done. And to be in a leadership role like this, and just some of the meetings and engagements I go to, and some of the people that reach out to me and ask for my input, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I want to look at you and go, you realize you're the sheriff of the county, right?
Yeah.
You're a judge, sir. You're
Yeah. No, I get that. So what helps you, like for that one that's listening? I know there's people going to be listening that are maybe about to step into something they don't feel qualified for. So the reason I even bring that question up is I think people could get a lot of encouragement. How is it that you deal with that feeling? Is it the community around you that keeps you motivated? Is it the wins that you've experienced?
all that, but you can also go back to the Gospels and you'll see that God doesn't call the qualified;
Yeah,
He
amen.
qualifies the called.
That's,
If He's got His hand on you, then you trust Him.
yeah,
You trust Him, and you'll walk on that water as long as you got your eyes on Him.
yeah, that's good.
If He makes you a promise, hold Him to it.
Yeah, that's good, man. So as long as you feel like, as long as you know that you're walking in what God's called you to, then it's His battle to fight. Then,
Yes,
amen.
that's what I say when people worry about money or whatnot or this. I'm like, well, God's got His hand on us.
Yeah.
We're doing His work. He's going to bless this.
Yeah,
So I don't know either.
Okay.
I don't know either, man.
that's good, man. Because because you're able to fight through that, we have been able to see some really cool stuff come out of the things that you and Shay and you guys are doing. It's but you are having to fight through, the enemy saying, hey, you're not, this is Tallapoosa, these people are not going to change,
Mhm.
all these different things. So, that's awesome, man. Do you have a short story of from one of your peers that you've had the opportunity to walk with? Man, a big win they've had that,
I do one that carries me. I read the question when you texted it to me earlier, and it immediately popped up.
yeah,
We had this young lady. She got out of jail, and she came straight to Your Haven like we recommend.
yeah,
And she was still having to stay in a trap house.
Mm.
That's the only place she had to live, like full-blown trap house. And by the grace of God, she was staying sober. She was, connected to Your Haven. She was coming to meetings. Super good girl.
yeah,
Sweetheart. And so we got her a room for a week and got her a job here in town. And that's pretty much all it took.
wow,
This young lady, she started working at the restaurant, and then they had open mic. They had musicians playing up there for a while, so she played guitar. So she started singing up there.
yeah,
After a week, she started paying her own rent, and it's progressed on to where now she's management in the job she's in now. She drives a BMW. She has her own ride,
Yeah.
and she's just flying.
yeah,
And all it took was somebody to believe in her long enough,
yeah.
just to believe a little bit.
Wow. man. And that's what you were talking about earlier with seeing people not just get back to their original state to be able to fully walk in these new lives.
Yeah, and actually, she just got her kid back.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Man, that's the gospel in itself, man. It's just, being able to see that completely changed life like that.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. So what is your plan as as a director? Where do you see your Haven at in a year? Where would you like to see your Haven at in a year, and then looking on down the road, into 5 years or so?
We'd like to see us in a bigger building. That we have room for the things that we want to do. I have an arts and recovery room. I'd like to add more programs, more resources, more employment resources. I'm doing research now on opening a staffing agency.
Yeah.
Owned by Your Haven. For second chance employment. To do some day labor stuff, to get some people some money. Get some money in their pocket so they can do for themselves.
Yeah.
Just things like that. Because employment and housing is a real problem around here. Transportation. We've added transportation lately, but it's limited. To business hours. So we've even got one of the local employers going to start workforce transportation soon.
Wow.
So we're trying to attack these barriers little by little, and I'd like to see it not be a problem in the next 5 years.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So like with these say you got this new building with these new programs, what type of stuff would you be looking to do with that? You said is it a bigger staff? Is it just more opportunity for more like events and meetings and stuff like that?
More events. We thrive on our events. It keeps peer engagement up. It gives people something to do and makes them feel like they belong to something.
Yeah.
A bigger building, like I said, have an arts and recovery room. Right now, we've got a multi-purpose room where you do everything there.
Yeah.
Music, arts, whatever, watch TV, whatever you want to do. So I would like to have a place big enough for that, and maybe a big enough room, because we've been working through workforce development with the Chamber of Commerce to try to do trainings like soft skills, OSHA 10, things like that, to make people more employable.
Yeah.
And I'd like to have space to do that.
Make them help them become an asset rather than just picking the first job that come along.
And just come in and get a ServSafe certification. Because what restaurant's not going to hire somebody with their own ServSafe already?
Yeah, that's good. It's funny you say that with the recovering the arts, like you just said, because when me and Ansley, my wife, got together, both of us were coming out of like leadership roles in recovery, and that's our whole life was based around Jesus and recovery. And so then we start realizing that we had no hobbies. We really didn't, so we had to slowly learn what these hobbies were, and it'd be neat for people to find in these different hobbies. So to be able to help them in all areas like that.
I'd love to have like a fitness room, so.
I ain't trying to do all that, man. No, I'm just kidding. So, where can everybody get the information for Your Haven? Where's the best way to do that?
We're on Facebook as Your Haven. Our website is yourhavenrecovery.com.
Okay. And then talk a little bit about what is that's coming up, the West Georgia Recovery Rally?
Yes.
Okay.
The West Georgia Recovery Rally, it's a coalition of, last year it was around 18 RCOs.
Yeah.
From the West Georgia area.
And an RCO being?
Recovery Community Organization. Okay. We're gathering together to show that, we can gather together and hold on.
Yeah, go ahead, do it again.
We're just rallying, showing people what we're doing, connecting resources, advocating, having speakers come out.
Y'all work a lot with the other RCOs around, from Polk to Carroll to Paulden?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
We're all just wheels in a cog.
Yeah, that's good, man. So when that comes about, will there be like opportunities to set up resource tables or sponsorships and all these different things?
There'll be sponsorships. The flyers should come out either later tonight or in the morning.
Okay.
There are resource tables.
Yeah. They said there's a really good-looking guy going to be there.
Oh, yeah, I have to go.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. No, awesome, man. So, and what day was that again?
March the 7th.
Okay. So it's going to be March the 7th. That's right. Awesome, man. Well, anything you want to add before we turn this thing off? What's your plans for the future? Where do you see yourself? Not just your haven.
I see myself um, helping your haven
Yeah.
flourish, blossom, and also I want to buy a house. I want to buy property,
Yeah.
and a legacy for my boys, something
Yeah.
I can leave them.
That's good.
Because most of their life, and me, my whole life, never had a place that I couldn't be thrown out of or didn't get thrown out of. Actually, my house I'm living in now is the first place I've ever lived and not been thrown out of.
Wow.
And them too as well.
Yeah.
So that's my goal.
Yeah. That speaks volumes though, man, because that's not just, in the old life, we learn to live in the right now only. We learn that's such short-term goals. And so, but to be able to, in this new life, to be able to look even out past your lifetime into theirs and say, my goal is to make sure that this, this not only the generational curse broke, but it's also generational wealth now. So that's awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you coming in and sitting down with us. From what I hear, I hope that there's this, Your Haven podcast going to be coming out soon.
Oh yeah, stay tuned.
Stay tuned to see what happens. But again, Chris, we appreciate you. We appreciate what all Your Haven's doing, and we'll have you back on here soon, brother.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, brother.